Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbies and Kens, Chelseas of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie. Whoops. Binging Barbiette is what my notes say. I
What a
added a T
oops.
to the end of Barbie. Anyway, I'm your
Binging
host, Jay.
Barbiette.
Yeah. Don't know who Barbiette is, but... Anyway, I'm your host, Jay, and with me I have my co-host, Barbiette.
Yeah, it's me, Barbiette. I am the Barbie knockoff bootlegger, and I come from whatever bootleg
Sweden.
place you can buy me from. Yes, from the Swedes and Bates, it's very Sweden. Yes, Hergesburger, Morgen. Yeah. Is Barbiette. Let's do, because we are talking about the Monster High. Yeah.
Yeah, today we are finishing up our Monster High series, giving out our official rankings of all of the Monster High movies, all 17.
Hooray.
A silly mood, yep. We've finally finished Monster High. Just recorded the last episode a few hours ago. So, yeah. Hopefully this will end well.
Hopefully, I mean, it's over. We just need to tell people what we think about the scores and all that stuff. Do a
Yeah.
little review and recap. Do I remember all the films? Nope. But let's try our best.
Yeah. So how this is going to work, we have compiled a list based on the overall scores for all of these movies. And then we also have our own lists, our personal list based on these scores, and a score that is adjusted to not include the scores of guests. Because for this one, we have a couple that are going to jump around a bit. For Barbie, we had a lot that were jumping all over the place. But yeah,
Definitely.
this is we'll just kind of go through our score, and if you want to hear more about any of these, you can go and listen. We have full episodes on every single one of these. So, but yeah, number 17, we have. Oh, I think I maybe have drums. Oh, not wrong kind of drums. I thought it was going to be like a drum roll.
Well, I can or I guess yes. Number 17. Play ball.
Yeah. This is Monster High New Ghoul at School with a score of 2.5.
Yeah, the technically not a film because it's like 4 or 5 minute shorts that they put together with a very not at all loose connected plot. Which is our official introduction to Monster High. I saw this one when it first came out for sure, and it came out as different episodes in between shows and such. But in this specific version, they put it together to a 20-minute thing plus a bunch of random episodes that they just put in for some reason to fill in the time. And yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this was a real doozy of a way to start this series. Just no, like I can imagine a version of this that is good. Of like, oh, Frankie is new to Monster High, learning the ins and outs. Here are all of the characters. Let's introduce them. But there's no sense of characterization in this, and no sense of Monster High as a school. And the plot is very simple, and it doesn't have enough time to do what it wants. And then the compilation of episodes afterwards are just kind of baffling. Like, there's a couple of good ones, but the rest of them just kind of feel very randomly tossed in.
Sure. Yeah. Just random episodes that they selected from what they had aired at the time. But I will say, like, these 2D, again, these are 2D episodes. We're not even the 3D films yet. These 2D episodes and special films, like, they have my favorite art direction of the series because they're 2D and the characters were originally made for 2D, and that's where the characters look their best. Um,
Yeah,
and I
I
enjoyed that.
definitely agree. Yeah, I have seen more of the show that this is kind of pulling from than you have, but I think the show, when you watch it as a show, is actually pretty solid, and a lot of
Right.
that is
Yeah.
the art style.
Hmm. Yeah, something that kind of gets lost when you transfer it to 3D. You don't get the same like shapes and proportions, and it kind of
Yeah.
looks weird at times, but they try their best for the most part, and
Yep.
you can tell who's who.
Yeah. No, speaking of completely different end of the spectrum here in terms of style, number 16, we have Monster High the movie. This is the second
Yeah,
most recent. We gave it a score of 2.6. Oh, I think we forgot to give our ranking, our own personal rankings of New Ghoul at School. So I have New Ghoul at School at number 17. John, you have it at a little higher at number 16. And then our adjusted ranking is
yeah.
number 17. Um,
Mhm.
for Monster High the movie, yeah, this is just a real bad start to the live action era of Monster High. Not that the second movie is much better,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
again, it's just very jarring to go into a brand new generation where we have all the same characters, same locations, but we have to make it distinct. So we have to completely change and work everything around to make it unique in its own way. And if you were following the series from the get go, or even from the second generation, it's going to be pretty jarring to get this new one in. So. By the time, because we were watching
yeah,
these films in order, but by the time we got here, it was just a little just too much, and I was kind of hoping for just more refresher take of just brand new set of characters.
yeah. And this isn't like, it isn't even like, it's drawing so much from like Harry Potter and from the Descendants. It doesn't feel like its own thing, just in terms of plot and in terms of characterizations.
I mean,
We
that
have
being
very,
said,
very
they do a
odd.
really good job at like visualizing Monster High. They put in the effort of like
Yeah.
giving the characters makeup, even if some characters aren't able to have the effects that they want, like Deuce, so they give him a beanie. But they do workarounds that work for the most part. And like, sure,
Yeah.
yeah, a live action adaptation of your favorite characters is pretty cool to see, but then you take a closer look and it's like, maybe I like don't like it as much.
Yeah. No. So I rank this at number 16 as well. You did this slightly higher at number 15. You have a different worst one than the average here, so that'll be coming up soon. And then yeah, our adjusted ranking is once again number 16. Um, so yeah, no, number 15. Not straying too far for this one, we have Monster High 2
We
with a
just
score of
talk
two
about this
7.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a, for me it was a minor improvement over the first one, but not by much. Um, it has a lot of the same problems. It has a few new characters and new ideas that I liked. But yeah, overall it's just a lot of the same. So yeah, that's my number 15. And then John, you have this as your number 17 down at the very bottom.
Yeah, I didn't really find this one as engaging, and as I stated in that episode, I like got to the first half hour and just I just didn't really care, so I let the movie play in the background while I read a book, and I would glance every once in a while and was like, oh, I guess, oh, okay, Dracula's in a cage. I guess the mother's evil now. Okay, that's cool. Nothing's new here, and just kept reading. So,
Yeah. Yep. And our adjusted ranking for this one is number 15. These are most, I guess we have had guests on some of these episodes, but we kind of all agreed on these. So
Sure.
Nothing
Yeah.
major happening with the adjusted rankings yet. But number 14, um, speaking of 2D animated, we're getting all of the non CG, non 3D CG ones out of the
Mm.
way here. We have Monster High Fright On with a score of 2.9.
This is the one with Van Helsing, correct? Or
Yes, yeah. Van Helscream.
yeah, that's correct.
And
And
the
the
weird
very beginnings
crabgrass
of
lady.
I guess, yeah, I guess so. And the very beginnings of just like the very complicated warring, feuding races in between wolves and vampires that works very little of the time, depending on who you ask. But yeah,
Yeah. This is kind of the Monster High tradition of flubbing the metaphor. This one isn't as bad on that front as some other ones. I think the live action ones are a bit more egregious on that front. But
yeah,
perhaps I'm
because they're
also
big. Yeah,
just
yeah.
looking at this through rose-colored glasses since it's been so long since we watched this. Honestly, I think the biggest lasting legacy of this one for me is the wolf who's a 30-year-old man who is attending the high school.
Right.
So yeah, this was my number 13, so I had it a little bit higher. You had it on number 14, and our adjusted is at number 14 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, next up we have the sports one, number 13, Friday Night Frights, with a score of
Oh,
3.
okay. That's their introduction to Rebecca's theme.
Yes.
A really fun, unique character design. But yeah, it is just a weird sports one where it's just a roller derby that kills students that nobody bats an eye with, and it's all confusing.
Yeah. I remember being disappointed on two fronts, kind of related, because this is one of those girls can play sports too
Oh,
movies,
oh,
which
that's right. It is. Yeah.
yeah, which at a certain point was sort of revolutionary, but by the time this comes out in like 2012, that's a very
Not at
played out
all.
trope.
Yeah,
Um,
very played out.
and yeah, the way it doesn't integrate the sport into the plot, where they have this, they're gonna beat this gargoyle team, but it never ties back to any of the character arcs or anything. The way they beat the gargoyle team is by beating the gargoyle team. There isn't any setup or payoff for what strategy they're using. So yeah, I just, even though Rebecca is a lot of fun, and this one gave Julia a fun subplot because she's sort of discovering Rebecca's pieces and reassembling them.
Yes.
But yeah, overall not my favorite. Yeah, I had this slightly higher at number 12, but you had it at number 13, and the adjusted ranking is number 13.
Yeah, I mean, there's elements that I enjoyed from this one, but I was very frustrated with the overdone plot of like girls can't play sports.
Yeah, and what they did with Claude Wolf in this one was absolutely
Oh
horrible.
gosh, Claude
What?
just doesn't get. Claude has not returned to Monster High at all since
I honestly
Generation One.
I have not missed him, because even in like Freaky Fusion and that those later Gen 1 movies, he was barely in those.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, next up we have number 12 with a score of 3. This is Welcome to Monster High, the first of the Gen 2 movies.
Yeah.
So none of the introductory movies have escaped our bottom 5 here.
No, I mean this one was just very technically impressive, like visually,
Yeah.
like the best out there. Story wise, odd choices, uh, and then sound mixing was off, but it was a film.
Yeah, I had this quite a bit lower. I had this as my number 14. You actually had it a little bit higher as your number 9. Our adjusted ranking is still 12.
Yeah, and that number 9 is just purely from how like the jump in animation quality
Yeah,
was
yeah.
from the Generation 1 to Generation 2.
This one does introduce us to Monica, so that's kind of fun.
Yes, it does. But it
Um,
also gives us the ideas that our girls were the founders of the Monster High.
yeah. Oh boy. We do also get introduced to Dracula in this one.
Yes.
But yeah, this just felt like after Gen 1 such a step back because I'm not interested in Monster High as a place. I'm interested in
No.
the characters and stories that take place in Monster High.
Hmm.
So having a movie about Monster High as a place was just a little bit disappointing.
But they did manage to make their world building make much more sense. Of like, okay, we have a human world, and the monsters are trying to get away from the human world. Versus in Generation One, it was initially the human world, and then we just kind of forgot they existed, and now the normal world is just monsters, I guess.
Yeah. Now, number 11. Ooh, this is a bit of a doozy for us here. This is a guest episode, so one that you and I liked quite a bit more than its placement here would suggest. Monster High Frights Camera Action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the films that aren't set into school, we just enjoy so much more. So this one was a globe-trotting adventure. They're going all around the world, I believe it was. But the mystery was pretty
Yeah.
obvious. This one had the vampire council uh finding the leader, correct? This they went to Bollywood or something.
Yeah, no, they go yeah, Draculaura is chosen to be the next vampire queen, and then they're going across the world to find the vampire heart, and solve this mystery. And yeah, like you said, it's this big, fun, globe-trotting adventure. We're getting out of the high school. There's just a ton of different characters, but all of their arcs kind of end up concluding in interesting ways when they get to Hauntlywood. Is it in this one?
I guess it
Um,
is Hollywood.
we
But
have some great Cleo moments, some great Draculaura moments,
like we
some
get
great
like a
Twyla
little bit of,
moments.
yeah, Twilight, we get some more Rebecca Steam.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
gets to have more of a background that's kind of oddly, when you think about it, it's like, okay, now her other appearance is a little bit odd, because of how important she is. I miss Rebecca Steam. That's one of the
yeah,
characters I missed in these past two generations. But like, unfortunately, those two generations didn't go far enough to give us Rebecca. So maybe in the third or fourth
yeah.
film, we'll see.
And this one also, I mean, the characters in this one are just top notch. We get Hoodooed Voodoo, who not everyone is a fan of him, but I liked him in this one. He's obsessed with actresses in Hollywood in a way that I found a little bit relatable.
Right.
So yeah, this one was actually my number 5. John, you have this ranked based on score as your number 1. Would you say that this is your favorite looking back?
No, I think there's another film that I think is my favorite looking back, but this is probably up there,
Yeah.
top 5 for sure.
Yeah, on our adjusted ranking as well, it is number 5. That's dropping out the guest scores. We had my sister on. This was the only episode she was on, so this is definitely one. If you're just starting out on this one, there's so many characters and ideas being thrown out that it's hard to keep track of everything. But for us, having seen all of the previous versions, this was just a lot of fun.
Right. I need to compare something
Okay,
because I'm wondering why I rated it at number 1. But keep going.
yeah. Um, Number 10. Speaking of getting out of the high school,
You guys sing another song for us today?
no, I'm not gonna. I'll just do the
Do, 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 do.
start
Start
spreading the
spreading the
news.
news. I don't know the rest of the words.
Yep, this is Boo York, a
New
Monster High
York, New
musical.
York. Yeah, this one.
We yeah, this one we gave a 3.2. Um, I'm surprised this is in our number 10, and I think for both of us, this is actually a little bit lower on our personal list. Number 11 for me, number 12 for you, and number 11 on our adjusted list.
There was just too much that was going on in that film
Yeah.
that it was kind of hard to tell what was the main focus of the film. I didn't really care for central characters. I didn't really care for the music. We had a little bit of Abby, but like she was there for exposition, which is still cool. By the way, there was a meteor that was an
Yeah.
alien.
And
Uh,
LED, is that her name?
I don't know.
The Tron looking robot.
Yeah.
I feel like somewhere out there in some file on some computer there is a version of this script that is twice as long and works really, really well.
Yeah. Also, just a lot of very repetitiveness, especially with Cleo, with her family, with Deuce once again.
Yep. Yeah. It just feels like, they started out with this big sort of epic, long musical adventure that then they just kind of cut it down, but did it a little bit haphazardly. So we're missing emotional beats, or certain things are repeated. Yeah. It's just, it was a real disappointment, especially since a lot of the characters here were very compelling. We have Caddy Noir kind
There are
of
also
being,
just way too many characters that they
oh,
brought
yeah.
into this film that our main girl, she had two characters who only had like one line throughout the film. You had
Yeah.
Operetta was there for no reason at all, and
Yeah.
the other one, Venice, Flytrap, whatever her name was,
Venus. Yeah. Venus.
Venus. She was there, I
McFlytrap.
guess. McFlytrap. I don't know why those two were there among our group of girls, but okay. And like they had no effect on the plot, but they were there, I guess, to go
Yeah.
to Bjork, instead of like the obvious choice of Frankie, Abby, Julia.
Yeah. It's, yeah, it's a big disappointment. But
Yeah,
there's so much there that it's like I don't want to be too harsh on it, because I do feel like there's a version of this that works really well. But it's a
yeah.
version that is an hour and 30 minutes long, not 90 minutes long.
Do you want to rephrase that?
Oh, that is 2 hours and 30 minutes long and not 90 minutes long. Thanks, John.
There you go.
You know me, John. I mix things up all the time. What we
Yeah.
do in the dark shadows,
hmm
life in the dream house adventures.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think we already did our rankings. I have this at number 11. You have it at 12, and our adjusted is number 11.
hmm
So yeah, no, number 9. This is another one that kind of flubs its metaphor.
Is
Monster
this
High Ghouls Rule.
is this the Valentine episode?
No, this is the one with the humans where Jekyll ends up going to the human
Oh,
school.
Holt. Yeah, Holt.
Yeah, and
He
they have
gets a
like the
girlfriend by
Halloween.
the end of this one,
Yeah,
and then she disappears, which is disappointing because she was a good character. But
yeah. We gave this one a 3.2. Honestly, I'm I'm kind of tempted to revisit this and see if it's better than I gave it credit for, because I keep thinking back to some of the things it does, but I do think our issue with it is that it does flub the sort of central metaphor a little bit. All of these Monster High movies, kind of the ones that try to use monsters versus humans as a metaphor for anything bigger, end
right.
up not having the complexity to do that well.
And this was the last film in Generation 1 that you didn't have like normies involved.
Yeah, but I do remember like a lot of elements of it working and being kind of fun. I think this is the last one that really had a significant presence from Abby.
Are you sure?
Because Boo York has a lot of Abby, but she's very like she's not funny in that one the way she is here.
I think we get more Abby in other films, like we'll get in later, but
Oh yeah, I
because
guess we get like
this
13
is an
wishes.
earlier film. Yeah, because this is an
Okay.
earlier film. Wasn't this? I don't want to say that it's the first. Is Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love the first 3D film?
Yeah, yeah, that's the first
Okay,
3D one.
so this would have been
This
like
one
the
is
second or
this is right
third.
after Friday Night Fright. So yeah, it's the third. Um
Yeah.
so yeah, maybe it's more like 13 wishes where Abby starts to kind of fall out of favor from as the
I
writers
mean,
don't know
like
how to write her
there was a
well.
good lengthy time where she like had one or two good jokes in the film,
Yeah.
but she wasn't as utilized because the last time that she was very useful in terms that like she constantly used her powers was like in Fright On and the other one, Friday Night Frights. I think she
Yeah.
used it in
In
that one.
13 wishes she uses her powers in like the genie lamp.
That is correct. She showed up just in time to save
Yeah.
the day.
But that's a different one. Yeah, Ghouls Rule. I don't know. I have this at my number 10. You have it at number 11. Our adjusted ranking is number 10. I'd I'd be tempted to revisit this one at some point down the line just to see if it's how it stands on its own.
I liked elements of it, but I just wasn't as impressed with the overall initial episode concept because it was just a very simple
Yeah.
thing. It's like, oh, okay, well, cool, I guess.
So yeah,
I,
number 8. This is another one that takes place away from Monster High itself. Escape from Skull Shores.
this
We
was
gave
the
this a
first one not at Monster High, really.
yeah. We
It was
gave this one
very
a
refreshing.
3.3.
Yeah,
Yeah. And this is the only one to do what I kind of wish all of these were doing, which it's taking a classic monster movie and reimagining it with the Monster High character. So here it's a an interpretation of King Kong, which took me way too long to figure that out. Obviously, Escape from Skull Shores. What's the island in King Kong? Skull Island.
hmm
Yeah,
with a little bit of like Beauty and the Beast there.
yeah, yeah. It's just fun. We get Adam, the King Kong equivalent, and his relationship with Frankie is really sweet.
Sure,
He disappears after this into the background of crowd shots.
that's most of the quote unquote love interests of
Yeah.
these films. They all disappear as a background asset, unfortunately.
Yeah, any new character, especially like men,
Hmm.
disappear into the background.
Yeah, it's a shame
Yeah.
because
Yeah, cuz
they keep focusing on like Deuce, Heath, Minotaur. But like, oh, we have all these cool other
and
guys.
Gil. Gil is
Gil
the
too.
yeah, and
He's the more
Gil is
prominent one.
in yeah,
He's
Gil
in
is
this
in
one.
this one. Has a pretty big role. This one is also, I think, the first time we saw Abby and Gulia paired up, and they are just phenomenal together.
Are you sure? This
Like
is the one that
as
they were
a
together.
this is the one where they're like stuck in the pit and they have to try and get
Hmm.
out.
Okay.
It's very brief, but it's something that we commented at the time that it would be fun to see more of them together, and then they continued to do things together. Because yeah, this is the second of the 3D animated.
Yes.
So yeah, I had this a little bit lower at my number 9. You had this actually a bit higher at your number 7. And then our adjusted ranking here is number 9. But yeah, this
Yeah.
is the
I.
8th spot in our overall ranking. Yeah, next up,
Yeah.
the first ever 3D animated one. Why do ghouls fall in love? with a score of
Hmm.
3.4. This feels maybe a little low.
I feel that's a little too high. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember loving the first 3D story because this is the one with Valentine, correct?
Yeah. I thought he was an interesting villain in how he portrays himself versus how he actually is.
Hmm. There was
Um
something about this film that I didn't quite like. I don't recall what it
it
was.
might have been the relationship between Draculaura and Claude.
There's something else though. Like that's
Okay.
part of it, but I feel like there's something more about it. Maybe it's just like this was the first 3D film and it's like pretty jarring for sure. But
Yeah. I just remember really liking. I mean, this was the first time we were seeing the very dynamic animation style of these 3D Monster High movies. Um and that was just kind of fun, the way the camera kind of zooms around and does it was very different from the Barbie movies. Um and yeah, I also this is when we get like
oh,
a lot
okay.
of Abby, um her with Cupid, and like the dichotomy of those two characters.
Okay, I think my issue was that this was the second quote unquote film special in a row to focus on Dracula and Claude in their breaking up or something.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
that
was
that
it.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I would personally say that of the two, this is the better between this and Fright On.
Yeah, but like this one was like disappointing because like you'd learned this lesson in the last film and
Yeah.
you should have known you should have learned, but still, yeah,
Yep.
yep.
Well, yeah. This one is actually in the exact spot I put it in on my list, number 7. For you, it's a bit lower at number 10. And then our adjusted ranking here is number 8.
Okay.
So yeah, kind of reflecting our thoughts on this. Yeah. Number 6, though, we have this is the last of Gen 1,
Yes.
chronologically. Great Scarier Reef with a score of 3.4. This one was fun. I don't know that I have a ton to add. The underwater stuff was fun, and seeing Laguna's background a little bit more was interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember like there's stuff always to say about each film. If you're curious about what I thought about the film, go listen to that episode. I don't remember what I thought about it, so
The Kraken was a fun villain, especially like the visual design of it. I remember like the
I think
transparent head.
I think I had some issues with some lighting, but
Okay,
that's
yeah,
that's about it.
yeah. I think of the various mermaid related ones that we've covered, this is one of my favorites.
Right, yes. This one also had like the weird um problem in that Gil, did he meet the parents or not type
Yeah,
thing.
some continuity errors in there.
Right.
But yeah, this was a bit lower on my personal list at number 8. You have it at number 6, so the same as the spot it is on the official rankings. And
Hmm.
then our adjusted ranking is number 6 as well. Yeah, next
Right.
up we have number 5. We've already mentioned this one briefly. Monster High 13 Wishes with a score of 3.5. This is the one where we focus on Claudine's younger sister,
Howleen.
Howleen. Yeah, I was forgetting her name. And she gets a magical genie lamp that comes with 13 wishes and this sort of secret dark. Oh, what do they call her? Now I'm completely blanking. But essentially, an evil shadow version of um, the genie who is sort of taking over Howlene's mind and getting her to do mean things.
Hmm.
The ghouls end up inside the lamp. This one had a really exciting third act, just in terms of like the scale of it, and you get like the shadow versions of all of the main cast. That was kind of fun. But I remember kind of leading up to that third act, there are some issues. Um, Abby gets a weird subplot where she gets put in charge of the school, um,
Yeah.
and it does not go well. And it's kind of fun, but it doesn't add all that much.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had this slightly lower at my number 6. You had it even lower at your number 8. Um,
Yeah, I don't think I enjoyed this one as much. Thought it was fine overall, but it didn't have the same appeal to me as some of these other films coming up. Like the next
yeah,
one.
yeah. Next one. This is also a bit low for how highly we think of this. Number 4, Scaris City of Frights. I remember walking away from this one and being just like, they finally figured it out.
Hmm. Yeah,
This is, I think, what is this? The 7th movie. Um,
one of
yeah,
those.
it's we had this writing team that had worked on a lot of these, and we'd seen them kind of struggle to juggle multiple different plot lines and different characters, and here it's just like they finally figured it out. Everything just works so smoothly. We have like 4 different plot lines, but they all get just the right amount of time and the right amount of focus, and we're cutting between them at the right times, and it's just, I mean, it's a masterpiece of story economy and weaving in
Character
all of these different
dynamics
narratives.
as well.
Yeah, and like the way the subplots end up all kind of coalescing together. We have Claudine is going off to Scaris to become a fashion designer, and all of the ghouls tag along and go on their own little adventures around the city. Um, Frankie is helping
Um,
Rochelle Goyle find her lost love. And then
I
Gulia.
think um I think why this film, because we forget about this. I think why
Yeah.
this film isn't as high as like how we rated is that there's also like a 15-minute short that came right after this one about how they got home, which just kind of didn't really match the whole adventure.
You see, I think for you that's why. I think for me I really liked the short. So for me that was just like an added bonus. But I understand how why you were disappointed with it.
Yeah, I mean the short was fine. I don't think I'd put it with the version, but sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which yeah, this was my number 2. I would say like separate from all of the scores, yeah, this is definitely in my top 2 Monster High movies.
Hmm.
You have it slightly lower at number 3, though I think you've said before that this is your favorite.
Yeah, like if I just ignore the extra episode that they put in, it is my favorite story that they've done.
Yeah.
And again, like we're not at Monster High, which is
Yep.
you know.
Yeah. It's just so good, and yeah, yeah. This is I love this one. Now, number 3, we have another one that I really like. Monster High Haunted with a score of 3.7. Now, this was a guest episode. Samariel, who helped us out quite a bit on this series since they're a huge Monster High fan, came on for quite a few of these episodes. But yeah, this one, I don't know. I just, I loved all of the character dynamics, and this is kind of the opposite of Scaris, where Scaris is juggling all of these plot lines and all of these characters. Haunted is a lot more focused. It's just one plot line, but we're really spending time to develop that plot line and have these character arcs and interesting character relationships. We have the new school, this haunted high that just looks spectacular.
I think like my issue with this film is just the antagonist's plan is just nonsensical.
Yes.
It's just I can't get behind what's going on because I'm like, well, there should be like a school board thing that should tell them no to
Yeah.
kidnapping students from another school and then turning them all into ghosts and whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Sending them all to detention and then you're giving them your prison chains because you're this evil ghost and you want to run this school and they let you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the spooky aesthetic is certainly something. Yeah, but we got more
I
Twyla out of it.
Yeah, we got more Twyla, more Spectra. For me, I was enjoying it that the story logic stuff like didn't bother me maybe as much as it would have otherwise. Yeah, this was just I had so much fun with this one. This is easily in my top 5. So yeah, for my own score based list, this is number 4. You have it at number 5, and our adjusted ranking is number 4. Yeah, next up we have another one that I really liked. This is another one that Samariel was a guest on for, and I think this might be their favorite. I forget if we asked them that, but yeah, no, this is Freaky Fusion with a score of 3.8.
The time travel film.
Yes, the this is one like the plot lines don't mesh well,
No.
but I still had fun with it.
Yeah, I had a problem where I was 10 steps away of like in front of the character and I'm waiting for Frankie to catch up and like figure out, hey, this guy's your great grandpa or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, from a plot perspective, I think this is kind of missing. I think part of the reason it's so high here um, is Samariel's sort of interpretation of how this relates back to the Frankenstein mythos,
Sure.
which you can listen to our episode, and they also have an episode of their YouTube show, Uncanny Productions, that digs into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other
Well,
reason it's
like,
this high for me is Nathan Roch, who is maybe one of my favorite Monster High characters. Just his design shouldn't work, and yet it does. And his
mhm.
personality is just so wonderful.
Plus there's time travel, and that's always cool.
Yeah, yeah, we get to see an older version of Monster High where everyone is Claude Wolf.
Yes, yes, they were.
And we get to meet Hezekiah Steam, or
Mm,
Hezekiah Steam.
that was great, also.
And he tells a student that they are his least favorite student.
Great. Yes, perfect.
Oh, we had
Mm,
fun with Freaky Fusion, or I had fun with Freaky Fusion. Honestly, the
right.
fusion stuff is the least interesting stuff in it.
Frankie dies in that one, I think.
Yeah, the third act in this one is surprisingly like harrowing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, speaking of surprisingly harrowing third acts and Frankie kind of dying as well, our number 1, Monster High Electrified. I have gushed about this movie on our episode so much. I just it's easily my number 1. Um,
I mean, it's definitely just the best in terms of quality and animation. Um, I don't love it as much as you do, but it is well put together for the most part.
Yeah, the story just works so well, and the balance of characters and the different character arcs are very well thought out, and the way they all come together. And then we have Monica, who is the best villain in Monster High. Like, who is the competition for that title?
Not Toroi.
No, there's like no. I mean, Valentine is kind of interesting as a villain, but no, it's just like no one personifies the like horror movie, like campy horror movie villain as much as Monica in the fun sort of little kid way. She's kind of the mad scientist who's gonna try and take over the world, and she's also a zombie, so she's gonna, you have that. But then what's her idea of like the night of the zomboys, this apocalyptic event? Oh, it's her zomboy army just going around and TPing random houses.
I mean, Van Helscream is probably the closest to like a good villain, but he's dead.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. You
killed.
have you have like the ghost lady from Scaris. But yeah, none of them are as instantly iconic as Monica.
No, I mean she had two films to be as iconic as she was,
Yes.
so
Yeah, and
she gets
her first
stuff.
appearance is not quite as good. Here they just like perfected everything.
Sure.
So yeah, this is easily my number one. You have it at number two.
I
Um,
don't know if I am in love with the story as much as you are,
yeah,
but
and I
there's
think
some stuff.
Scaris and Electrified are a good one and two.
Hmm.
Like whichever order you have those in, those are like the two best constructed ones, just from a story perspective. As much as I love Haunted, I will admit that there is some story logic problems in that one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that was
Yeah,
that's it. That's all films.
yeah, that's Monster High there. I wanted to revisit this question because I asked at the first episode, I think. But now with 17 Monster Highs under our belts, who are some of our favorite monsters?
I mean, the answer of course is Abby. Um I didn't really know who she was to begin this series, and just the more she appeared in each film, the more it was like, oh yeah, she's the best character. When we started this journey, because like Frankie was the only character that I really knew and recognized and was familiar with, I was like, okay, yeah, the token audience surrogate character was cool, but as the series went along, they just kind of didn't have much to go on. So, um, but Dracula Laura was always fun. They always had like a nice, positive, upbeat attitude for the most part. But
Yeah,
then sometimes they had weird choices. Twyla is a good character, especially in
yeah,
Electrified. That's what I loved about that film, Twyla. Like she was great in that one.
yeah. She was incredible. Um, yeah, a few that you didn't mention. Did you say Gulia?
She is with Abby. I didn't mention Gulia, but she's a good one. She gets less to do after each film, unfortunately.
Yeah, she just starts out so interesting, and yeah, I wish they would bring her back as she was
Well,
in
not just
Gen
yeah,
1.
yeah, just being the character who didn't speak basic human English, but instead spoke with moans that other people could
Yeah,
understand. Like
and just
like I
that
had
she's so
mentioned in the live action film, having a character like that makes them stand out. You have Chewbacca and Han Solo. If Chewbacca spoke plain English, I don't think he'd be as popular.
yeah. Yeah, Night Gulia is like a genius. Just adds so
Mhm.
much to that.
Exactly. Yeah, she's this genius, and we have to tell this visually. And so she's doing all these
Yeah.
crazy things, like Scaris. Gulia is at her best
Yeah,
at Scaris.
Scaris is the best Ghoulia ever.
Mm,
To have more of that iteration of the character would be so
mm,
wonderful. Oh, yeah. Ghoulia is definitely in my favorites. I also, a few, my favorite of like the core five that we started out with is definitely Cleo. Um,
mm,
she's just, to me, she is the most complex, just in terms of being the mean girl with a secret heart of gold, having this sort of above it all attitude, but secretly caring a lot for the people around her. Um, I feel like we never got the full depth of her character. We got hints at it through like Boo York, and Ghoul's Rule. But yeah, I wish there was something that would just really dive into her character. I already
mm-hmm.
mentioned Nathan. I think he's just cool from a design perspective, and Monica, just tons of fun.
And also from a design perspective, Rebecca Steam was just always so
Yes,
cool and such a pleasure to have on screen. That steampunk aesthetic, mwah,
yeah,
perfect. Um,
and then honestly, even like bit players like Mouseides King, who was only in Boo York, but had such a fun role in that as like the city mouse who knows everything and everyone. Yeah, there's a lot
yeah,
of great characters kind of
yeah. I
buried
mean,
in these, and
I also really like Laguna for just being that supportive character. Like, no matter whose film it is, she's typically there just being a supporting character.
yeah, that is my sister, who wasn't a guest on any of these episodes, but who watched all of these with me. That's her favorite character.
Plus, she's Australian.
Yeah. And I will say I am in the newer live action ones. I do enjoy Frankie quite a bit. That interpretation of the character. But yeah, that's kind of all of the
I
people I
don't
had
know
to
if I have
mention.
anyone from the live action.
How about Dracula?
Yeah, but he's not one of our main girls, and
Yeah, yeah,
our main core characters.
yeah. I think part of the problem is we don't know enough about Cleo and Laguna in that iteration.
Plus, like, everyone's completely different, so
Yeah, yeah.
nobody has their outlandish accents. It's just normal voices, which is not as fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's kind of a wrap on Monster High for the time being. Obviously, if they release a Monster High 3 or uh, another animated Monster High movie, kind of doubt they'll go that route, at least for now.
Yeah, so like we'll see what happens when we get to that, whenever that happens. So, but yeah, I'm glad that we finally got to go through Monster High. At least I am, because
Yeah,
I always knew about the brand and was like, oh, it's vaguely interesting. I wonder what all the fuss is about. And now we've
yeah,
seen it.
yeah. This is, we have made it. One more series down. This is our second longest series after Barbie.
Barbie was a thing, that's for
Yep.
sure.
This definitely felt more manageable than Barbie did. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media. We are Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Twitter and Serialized, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review and go and follow our Patreon. Our links are in all of those, and you can look for Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast. We will be taking a break next week, but we will be back the week after to begin a new series on the Beverly Hills Chihuahua trilogy.
Hey, Chihuahua. Bum, ba-dum.
Wait, I have something for that.
I'm a chihuahua.
Getting to
Alright.
talk lots of Chihuahua. So if
Mm-hmm.
you enjoy that, come and join us. If you want to hear us freak out about Cleo playing a piano. No, not Cleo, Chloe playing a piano.
Yeah. Have fun with that one. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
we had fun with Chloe. Now I'm doing it with these character names. I think it's time to be done.
Yeah.
Bye,
No.
Barbie. Oh,
Bye, Barbie.